Okay, YouTube fans, Transom fans, whatever kind of fans you are, if you're watching this channel, you're into boats. What I'm doing here, this piece, I'm going to double skin the inside of this. The inside of this is a form just because it worked out better to come down from here, work my way across, bring a piece up that'll meet closer to these edges. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm going to glass. This is the inside face of that piece. I'm gonna glass that in before I fit it in. It's gonna add some rigidity to this portion of the form. This is our outside skin. Right here, I'm gonna put another piece of glass across the center of that because that's where you require most of your support. This is going to face outside. Up in there. It's going to face out this way. I'm adding a little support to the center of that before I go ahead and cement it all together. The battery boxes, the battery box build out we did last night, looks like it's going to hold up well. Once I get that inside, this is going to be the inside facing piece right here, the one I'm focusing on. Once I get it into place, then I'm going to join all the corners around that with the woven woving. This is going to be the outside facing. This is going to be facing the back of the boat on that piece. Once that piece is in, I'm going to cover that in glass. I'm going to put this piece on here with this facing out. And basically what I'm working on is support between this beam and this beam. That's most of our support. It's going to take me out to about here where I'm going. Then I'm going to piece the other sides in, and we're going to glass those in. But the main force of this engine is going on these two stringers here. So I'm going to mix up a batch of glass. I'm going to pull these little wedges out that I've got in here. I'm going to glass those in, and I'm going to reinsert them. And once I reinsert them, they're going to be there forever. I'm going to put that piece with the glass facing inside here, and then put this other piece with the glass facing outside in there. I'm going to put wedges in there to hold it into place, and then I'm going to take strips of glass, and I'm going to I'm going to glass all this in with strips of this woven woving, all the way from here all the way down. So it's all going to be tied together. It's going to be very, very strong. I just wanted to, I got so many jobs going on right now. I've got to get this done, and it's late at night, but I'm getting her done. Get her done, right? So anyhow, just filling you in on that. And while I got a batch of glass mix up, I'm going to go ahead and add some reinforcement to our outer skin. That's the inside of our outer skin. So okay, all right, YouTube fans, Evinrude fans, Gulf Marine fans, my fans. I don't know why you'd be my fan. I mean, I guess I could teach you something here and there if you don't know nothing about this, but maybe one of you guys could teach me something about something I don't know about. I'm sure that's a definite possibility, but anyhow, that's it. I'll talk to you in a while. Okay, YouTube fans, Transom fans, you can see what I've done here is this is the inside portion that I was telling you about before. You see how I left the outside pieces of glass untouched by the actual resin itself. That's going to help tie in to the inside of the boat, to the stringers. That's why I did that. I did the same thing here. I put a smaller piece of glass on the inside of it, but I'm just thickening this up. I'm beefing this piece up. But you can see all the way around, you can see the cloth edges from the fiberglass cloth. I kicked this pretty strong. It's already kicking now. I did the same thing with this. This is the inside sheet that faces outward. Kind of hard to see in here, but what I did there was I put the woven woving in my scab, on my scab there. I glass this piece of the scab in. That's going to meet the outer portion, and that's going to get roving woving on it later. And probably get a little better look at that. I glass that piece in to the actual stringer itself too. So you know, I've got a really strong grip on my stringers. So that's it for right now. You know, we're gonna wait till these pieces cure up. Once they cure up, then we're gonna put them into position, and I gotta do some, there's some through hole drains. It's got a self-belling hole, so we're gonna put those drain hoses in before I put these 3 pieces in, and that way it'll make, you know, it'll make life a little easier on me. But that's what we've got going for right now. We're gonna let this cure up, and then we're gonna start putting them into position and glassing them in with the Roven woving and more fiberglass resin. Okay, YouTube, Evinrude. See, I'm sweating my ass off. It's getting close to 10 o'clock at night. You guys have a good night. I'll talk to you on the next run around. See ya. Okay, YouTube fans. Now what I have done, Evinrude fans, Transom fans, I built the battery holders inside there. Then I attached an inside form piece to it, and it's a little rough. It's going to look a little rough until I get done, until I clean it all up. And this is inside what it looks like. Then what I did was just to add a little bit of extra stabilization, a little extra strength to it. I took another piece of the Kusa style board. I covered the front of it in glass, and then I took and I screwed this board on and screwed it to the inside of this board and sandwiched them together. That's going to make it really strong. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pull those screws out. I'm going to configure these pieces from here to here, and I'm going to overlap this. The strength out here doesn't need to be as strong as the strength in this piece to the actual stringers. So I'm going to put this portion in, glass it in, lay it in, and I'm going to take this panel off up here. That'll give me access to put some cloth in there and resin that in. And well, the same over here, but I have a door that I can go through with my arm and paint that side in. Then once I get the the rest of the inside of this done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out the center portion of this where I have a this is actually where your motor's going to ride, or where the motor's going to ride. I have a steel plate that he's bought for reinforcement there. I may fill in another couple of strips in this area here to bring this out a little bit more, because, you know, as I said before, we don't need a 5-inch transom, we need a 2.5-inch transom. So probably what I'm going to do is put some liquid resin on this, fit a piece of glass into here, piece of the board. I might do 2 of them. I might even, and I probably will, go ahead and glass them together, and then put them in here, screw them to that. This is this is already getting really rigid, to fill out this portion here, and then it'll come down in a in a tapered type fashion toward the bottom. Now I'm gonna get my finger caught in there like a Chinese finger trap. Down here, I'm already filled in as good as I want to be. When this board attaches to here and comes up to here, I want this from here to here is going to be filled in with the fiberglass board, and then the rest of it's going to get poured in. I'm going to put shredded fiberglass down in there, and it's going to have the exterior board, and the exterior board is right here. I have I've double layered that with glass, and I'm going to attach that, and then this area is going to be thickened up a bit. I'm going to take this board out of here. Once I thicken this area up, I'm going to take the wood out of it, and then with what I cut out of right here, I'm going to, and the rest of this is going to be done. It's going to be basically blocked off from here out, and from here out, I'm going to pour liquid fiberglass into there with basically this kind of material right here, which is all the little scraps that I've saved as I've been doing this. We're going to mix that with the resin that we pour in there. So it's just been a long drawn out process because of the weather. It's rained on me a few different times, and then you gotta let things dry out before you continue on. So anyway, this is like part 40. So Evinrude fans, Transom fans, there you go. Okay, YouTube fans, what I have done is I have taken and I've made my last piece of board in here. On the inside of that board, I glassed it all off with the cloth, and I made sure that I stayed away from the edges of it up in here to where it would fold over. Now that glass and that cloth is totally down on the opposite side of this, and then I left enough cloth to come down and float back on this side. What I'm going to do now is, and you also notice that I left enough to come and wrap around and tie into all this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to glass all this in with resin, and then once that's cured, see, I did the same thing to the other side. Once that's cured, because I don't need a 5-inch thick transom, I'm gonna build up a couple of blocks here and kind of step this in and have that glass on the back, glassed to this, screwed in to the stringers, which are approximately here and here, and then I'm gonna have that piece of cloth just like this dangling over the back side when I screw that in. Then I will come back and I will apply the resin to that. Once that's done, I think we will have enough of a form created to where we can cut the top out of our actual transom leading into the splash well, to where once the back piece is on, which is that right there, I'll show you how I attach the back piece. We'll cut the top out of this, we'll have the back piece attached, and we will have all of the edges sealed all the way around, to where when we pour this glass in and put our cloth in and our fibers in, is basically what we're going to do. It's not going to leak out, because this stuff is very viscous when you pour it, and then it cures. When I do the final piece, I'm gonna kick it off very lightly, maybe at 1%, because the lighter you kick stuff, the less brittle it is, and the less brittle it is, the more flex you have in it, and the longer it's going to last without cracking. So I know this video series is taking forever, but I got a full-time job, and I'm doing this in my front yard. So anyway, that's what the side pieces are looking like. Just so you know, YouTube, Evan Rude, Gulf Marine, Nick Hudson fans. And I'm gonna go ahead and glass this in. I'll show you what it looks like glassed in, and then we're gonna put our lower pieces on to form a step down. We're gonna form a step down into here. This piece on here, you know, although it's wood, was fairly secure. We're gonna step from here. First, we're gonna put a larger piece here. We're gonna put a smaller piece there. Then we're gonna put another piece up here. That way, this is step down. It's gonna have unwet cloth coming down over it like that. Then I'm gonna secure the cloth to it with some staples. I'm gonna glass that in, but I'm gonna glass it in, and then I'm gonna flip the cloth over it. I'm gonna shoot some staples into it, and then glass over top the cloth. From that point, then all we got to do is attach our backing plate, and then we're gonna pour it, which is all that should have been needed to be done in the first place. But you know, my buddy that owns this boat, doing him a favor. He's a good guy, he's a nice guy, he's a good dad, all that stuff. I'm taking care of him. So he wants to take his kids out on this boat. I want it to be good for him. And you know, that's a lot to be said for a guy that takes care of his kids, and that is a good dad, and you know, good husband, good father. So I'm going to make sure that that I do this project well for him, so he won't have any problems or any issues in the future. Okay, YouTube, see ya. Okay, what we've done here now. Last video you saw that we made a form on the very back inside of our transom. Once we got that form in, I take some of that filler right there and fill all the little bitty cracks so my fiberglass isn't going to run out. Like it just, you know, works to help to seal that form up, because fiberglass is very liquid when you pour it, and if it finds a little pinhole, it's going to run out that pinhole. Now, next, what we're going to do is I'm going to take fiberglass and shred it, and we're going to pour the fiberglass down into the transom, because I cut the top out. You see that? We're going to pour the fiberglass down into there. Then we're going to stuff shredded mat down in there. Then we're going to pour more liquid on top of it. We're going to stuff more shredded mat down in there. I'm using this to stuff it down in there. Just a piece of threaded rod, or, you know, whatever you got around the house. So, I mean, it's really not that simple. It's just very labor intensive. And this is probably the last one I'm going to do, unless it's mine. It takes just too much time, and I'm too old for this crap. So, anyway. That's transom part 40 or something. Anyway, okay. Over and out. Yeehaw.